ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative. Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobiski. Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson. Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff. And other initiatives, including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Okay, you can start.
Perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to Ocean Rehab and Fitness. I am Sierra. We are going to be going through a cardio workout today. So for equipment, if you have some kind of dowel, like my mop stick or a cane or a paddle, whatever you have that kind of looks like a dowel, we're also going to be using some resistance bands. I have two different types. So I have a shorter version of a resistance band, as well as a longer one that I'm going to have anchored. Mine's kind of anchored here to the post, but we'll talk a little bit about where you could anchor it. Other than that, you can use some light weights if you want to add a little bit of a challenge. We're going to be doing some cardio and then some isometric holds. So if you feel like you want that challenge, totally add that as well. Okay, so let's get started in our warm-up. We're going to start with some neck, shoulders, spine, hips, the usual, and then get into a ton of cardio today. So we're going to tuck that chin in and look down towards the ground and then look up. So nice and slow and gentle to start. Just getting in some motions from what we're doing all day. And then we're going to go left and right. Good. And then we're going to tilt right ear to right shoulder. Good. And then we're going to go into the pecs, and we're just going to do a little quick self massage. If you have a ball, you can add a ball here. And really just get into those pecs, finding maybe a tender spot. Good. And then we're going to go up underneath the collarbone. Good. And then we're just going to bring that arm up and then back. So into flexion and into extension. Good. And then we're going to go all the way up and do an angel just on the one side to start. Good. And then we're going to do just the one side, shoulder rolls back. Nice. And then we're going to switch sides and go into the pecs again on the right. Finding maybe a tender spot and focusing on that, or if it feels good, just kind of getting into that whole muscle. Hopefully finding some spots to relax a little more. And then we're going to go up underneath the collarbone. Good. And then we're going to add some movement in here. So we're going to go up and back. So bring that arm all the way up and all the way back as far as we can. Good. And then we're going to go into that angel motion. And then we're going to roll that shoulder back. Good. And then we're going to add both arms up and back. And both arms into angels. And then we're going to go shoulder rolls back. Good. And then we're going to reach over to the left, start working down through the spine. And then we'll switch sides. And back over to the left. And we're going to reach as far as we can, really feeling that stretch. And then one more on the other side. Good. And then we're going to rotate to the right and left, just going back and forth nice and gently. Good. And then we're going to tuck that chin in and roll down through the spine as low as you want to go. You can kind of stay at your lap here, or you can go all the way down towards the ground. If you're standing, tucking that chin in and bending those knees. Slowly rolling up, lifting that chest, looking up towards the ceiling. Big inhales. We're going to tuck that chin in again and go down. One more time. This time we're going to let our head dangle at the bottom here. We're going to take a big inhale, thinking about expanding all those ribs in the back. And exhaling towards the ground. One more big inhale. Exhale, slowly lifting that chest. Looking up towards the ceiling and open everything up here. Good, so that's just a little warm up into mobility. We're gonna start adding a couple more movements now. If you like music, I would suggest putting some music on in the background now. We're gonna just start getting into some arm circles here. So starting forward. And then we'll go backwards, so just starting small. And then we're going to go into jumping jacks. Maybe adding a little bit of a step if you're standing. Good, getting those arms all the way up as high as you can. And maybe coming out front if going above head is too much. Whatever feels good. But the more we get our hands over our head, the more we can get that heart rate raised. Good. And then we're going to go forwards and up with both arms. So pushing forward, pushing up. Good. And then we're going to switch into diagonal reaches. So I'm using one hand to go and reach to the opposite side and using the other hand to kind of balance, but you could totally let go if that feels good. Nice. And then we're going to go back to the top, this time making bigger circles. Good. Opening that chest up. And then going into jumping jacks. This time we're going to go alternating. Switching things up. Good, and then forwards and up. So pushing forwards, pushing up. And last one, we're gonna go back to our diagonal reaches. Awesome. 10 seconds left. And we'll rest here. Okay, good work. Then we're gonna grab some water if you need. We're gonna grab our dowels and then we're gonna go right into it. So we're gonna do some pyramids today. So what that means is we're gonna go up the pyramid in time and then down the pyramid in time. And we're gonna change a little bit of the speed, work on some different speed changes to get things interesting. So like I said, if you wanna play music, totally do that. We're gonna be seeing a lot of cardio today. So the first one we're gonna do is our dowel, just simple kayaks. So we're gonna start with 30 seconds, nice and light. We're gonna add some speed and go into 1 minute, then a minute and a half at a fairly harder pace. And then we're gonna go down that pyramid for 1 minute, a little slower, and then finish off with 30 seconds of light. And then we're gonna drop that and do a hold and then get into our next pyramid. So a bunch of pyramids today. So hopefully after the first pyramid, you kind of get what we're doing so that we can start pacing ourselves a little better. So first one we're gonna do, we're gonna start right now, just 30 seconds, nice and light of kayaks. And you can add more of a twist if you follow that dowel with your eyes, or if you just want to stay forward, that's fine too, but just starting nice and light, remembering we're gonna be doing this for almost 5 minutes. So we want to pace ourselves nice and light. Okay, that's 30 seconds. So we're gonna add a little more speed now. You have music, go to that beat. You can follow my beat here. Good. And we also want to think about what the resistance might feel like if we were actually kayaking. And so you really want to think about pushing into that water and then pulling back so you get those back muscles in. Good. 30 more seconds at this speed. Nice. And then we're going to remember to breathe. First pyramid usually feels pretty good. And we're going to be switching up to different movements. So hopefully you're hanging on here. Okay. So then we're going to switch to a minute and a half of 80 to 90% of your max speed. So thinking about what that might feel like. And we're adding that speed now. And we're going to go for a minute and a half. So following my pace or faster, if that feels good. And finding something you can comfortably do. You shouldn't be able, by the end, first pyramid, maybe not so much, but by the end, this one should feel a lot more difficult. You shouldn't be able to talk a lot, maybe a couple little words. Good. Remembering to breathe. Nice work. We have 30 more seconds. And then we'll start slowing down and going down that pyramid. Good. Adding that rotation if you need that. Thinking about the resistance of that water. We're pulling. 15 seconds. Five seconds. And let's start slowing it down. So we're not completely slowing it down, but we are definitely getting a lot lighter than what we were just doing. Finding a good pace. You have 1 minute of this pace and then 30 seconds of nice and light. Nice. Remembering to breathe, sitting up tall. Halfway here. Awesome. We have 20 seconds. And seconds. Nice work. And slowing it down. 30 seconds of nice and light. Consider this your rest because we're going to go right into a hold after. So nice and light. Good. So hopefully you're feeling that difference between each interval. You're playing around with those speeds. You should really feel the difference, especially at this last one, how much lighter this is compared to your minute and a half of 80 to 90% effort. Okay, this is our 30 seconds. So now we're gonna put the dowels to the side and we're gonna hold our arms up. You can also hold on to that dowel if that feels good. And we're just gonna hold here for 30 seconds, thinking about rolling those shoulder blades back, relaxing everything, but staying nice and strong. So thinking about really flexing those back muscles as we hold those arms up into the air. Good work. And relax. Awesome. Okay, that's our first interval. Grab some water if you need. We're going to move into rowing with a band. So if you have a resistance band anchored, you can use that. Last time when we were doing these, we did the anchor up on a door. That was one option. Today I have it set up on a lower post. And you're going to be able to do this 2 different variations. So first variation, if you grab a pillow and you're in a seated position, you could also do this with a hinge in the hips from standing. You can set up the band as if you were swimming. So you would lean forward, and you bring the arms up and all the way back. So that's one way you could do these row, or you can sit up tall or slight knee bend if you're standing and just be in a rowing position like such. So we're going to do the intervals like this. Make sure that band is fairly light. And if you don't have a band, you can just continue to row. So those are your options there. We're going to be doing the same intervals. So take them maybe 20 more seconds and then we'll get started. Set up the bands for what's comfortable for you. And then the other option is if you don't have any anchor point, you can totally do single arm and then switch each side. But I would suggest if you can get an anchor, even if you can anchor it under your chair or under your feet, that is totally fine too. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start nice and light. Timer is going, so 30 seconds of nice and light, finding just a comfortable pace. And let's go. Good, and my band's fairly light because we're going to be doing a lot of cardio today. So arms straight out and then pulling back. And if you're swimming, your palms are down towards the ground and then you're pulling back like such. Good. Okay, adding speed already. So adding a little bit of speed. Squeezing those shoulder blades back. Finding a nice, good pace. So normally when we use these resistance bands, we've been doing a lot of strength, and now we're going to use a cardio piece to this, where it's more about getting that movement in nice and light with the bands and doing as many reps as we can. So way more endurance to this than strength. Good. We're going to have a speed change here in 10 seconds. So getting ready for that. Just going to adjust my angle here. Nice. And let's add that 80 to 90% effort. So adding a little more speed here, but staying controlled. Staying nice and tall, whether you're seated or standing. And it's as if we're also rowing on the water. Good. The nice thing too is you can switch the way you're gripping. So you can have palms facing you or facing each other, or palms towards the ground, whatever feels comfortable. My shoulders are going to be burning after this. Good work. Hopefully everyone is staying with me. All right, we have 30 more seconds. Pacing ourselves, breathing, sitting up tall, not letting the effort of it push us to quit. We want to get right through this. 20 seconds, 15 seconds actually. There we go. And depending on the resistance of your band, the speed's going to be different. So finding just something that feels good. All right, and then we're going to slow it down a little here now. Still going because we do have that 30 seconds of light after this. So still a little bit of speed, but definitely slower than what you were just doing. Finding a good pace, straightening those arms and then pulling back. Squeezing those shoulder blades back. Good. 30 more seconds. Nice work. Fifteen seconds. Breathing. And we are really slowing down now. So nice and slow. This is our rest. Opening up that chest, making sure we don't lose that form. 15 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good work. Okay, grab some water. Actually, no, just kidding. We're going into our hold. So we're going into our field go. So we're going to be 90 degrees here. Elbows are at shoulder height. Palms are facing me. And then you get water. Staying nice and strong in the shoulders, making sure the shoulders aren't lifted up. Good work. 5 more seconds. And we're resting. All right, grab some water, stretch out. We are going to move on to our next cardio here. So showing you very different movements that you can use for cardio. No equipment, no cardio equipment at least needed for this. Okay. So the next one, I have a fairly light band, pretty stretchy. It's also very short because it's just getting very old, but it actually works out pretty good. If your band is longer, this will also work. You're just gonna have to play around with your resistance a bit. So to get started, what you're gonna do is find some tension in that band. And for me, I wrap them around my hands to kind of get a good grip on them. Especially for those who have less grip, totally is helpful. Then what we're going to do is you're going to add that tension onto the band. And notice my elbows to my wrists are like fairly straight here, but as I pull out that band. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually rotate that band and you're kind of drawing circles with your hands. Okay, so playing around a little bit with this here. With the longer bands, you have to play around with how much resistance you really need, but we really want to try and keep those wrists and elbows in line with each other. So hence why I'm adding a little more tension. And then you want tension as you spin those bands. So we're in that hand cycle kind of position here now. So really thinking about, it's as if you're pedaling. Okay. So we're going to be doing this with our pyramid now. So find a good resistance, find something that's comfortable. Another one I always like to tell people is if you don't have a lot of grip and you want to actually tie these corners or these ends so that you can loop it around and then put it on your wrist. And then you would have your wrist and you can do it as well. So a couple different variations you can do. Again, if you don't have bands, you can just keep rowing or paddling with your dowel. Okay, what we're going to do is nice and light to start. Some might be playing around with the grips. Maybe you don't want a lot of resistance and you just want to keep it nice and relaxed. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, add a little bit of resistance and challenge yourself here. So we're just nice and light. Start. Because I talked a bunch, we got 10 seconds already left, and then we're going to get into some more speed. Okay, adding a little bit of speed now. This one's not going to feel good after. Good work. And then the other thing we can play with is how far away from the body you are. I like a little bit of a bend, so I have control of that band. You can also be up here. If you really want to work out, I'm going to stay down here and be conservative with this. All right. We have 20 seconds. And then we're going to add more speed. Okay, add some speed here. Whatever that means. Maybe you're just adding more resistance. Whatever feels good. We're going to go for 1.5 minutes. So find your pace. Notice I'm not going too fast here. Very much already challenged with trying to keep those bands nice and tight. There we go. 30 seconds already knocked off. 1 more minute. Good work. My shoulders are already burning. Let's go. Good work. Breathing, sitting tall. This is what cardio is supposed to feel like, right? Feel that burn. Okay, we have 30 more seconds. Right through, finishing strong. Good work. Playing around with those levels, whether you're high or low, with your arms, adding resistance, decreasing resistance, whatever you got to do to challenge yourself, but also stay with us. Good work. 5 seconds. And I promise there's a speed change. And slowing it down for 1 minute. Still have that tension, still have that speed, but slowing it down so you can make it through. And if you haven't already and you want to change, you can change direction. Challenge your brain here a little bit. Good work. 30 more seconds. "20 seconds, breathing here, finding what feels good. "10 seconds. Here we go. And slowing it down, nice and slow. Good work. Okay, so we're gonna go into another hold after this. And then we're gonna get into some boxing. Switching it up again. 15 seconds here. Good work. And drop those bands. Nicely done. If you want, you can grab weights. Otherwise, we're just going into a lateral raise here and holding. 30 more seconds. And then I promise we'll take a quick break. So relax those shoulders, roll them back. Taking a big inhale and exhaling all that tension. 5 seconds. And we'll rest. Good work. All right. Grab some water, really stretch out those shoulders, get some relaxation going. And then we're going to go into some boxing. So with boxing, we are going to do a couple different movements. You can also add some weight if you feel like you want a little more challenge. First one we're going to do is just some nice jabs to start, nice and easy. If you want to add a little more funk to that, feel free to add a different combo, but otherwise we're just going to start with some jabs, keep it simple. And we're going to just start off nice and light. So just getting into it, really thinking about staying controlled here. We're not going to add so much speed, but more of that intensity of adding different combos here. And I want everyone to be nice and controlled, not hurting themselves. Good, tucking that chin in a little bit. Okay, now we're going to add jab, jab, cross, jab, jab, cross. We're going to do this for a minute. So now we can add that speed a bit here. Good. Jab, jab, cross. Good, we're halfway. Good. "20 seconds. Nicely done. Okay, next one. Jab, cross, left hook, right hook. Okay, jab, cross, left hook, right hook. And we can adding a little more intensity into those punches and maybe a little bit of speed. We're doing this for a minute and a half. So pacing ourselves, always coming back to the chin after your hooks. Good. And we are 30 seconds in, 1 minute to go. Good, relax those shoulders. I mean, at this point, my shoulders are so tired, they're not gonna lift. Good work. 15 seconds already through that minute. Good. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So punching forward and then punching into that side, adding that emphasis in those hooks. Good work. Shoulders down, relaxed, and breathing. 20 seconds. Nicely done. Ten seconds. Good. And then we're going to slow it down. We're going to go jab, jab, left hook, right hook, uppercut, uppercut. So jab, jab, left, right, right. Okay. So slowing it down so that we can really get in all of those movements. Left, right, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. Good. Still moving, but slowing it down. Halfway. Good. Find that pace. Almost through. 20 seconds. Ten seconds. And going back to jabs, nice and light. 30 seconds. Getting that full extension in the arms, relaxing those shoulders. Good. And then we're going to go into another hold. And we're going to do a front raise. So if you want, grab some weight. Otherwise, bring those arms up, straight out in front of you. And we're holding just for 30. Relax those shoulders. Good work. 15 seconds. Remembering to breathe. You get water after this. Tight core, bringing that belly button towards the spine. And we're resting. All right, we made it through that one. Grab some water if you need. Hopefully everyone is still here with me. If you are listening to music, maybe put what you're listening to in the chat. I'm always curious if people are listening to music. And I always like good recommendations on music for my other classes. Okay, take a minute here. We're also going to grab dowels. So if you have your dowel, get ready with that. This is going to be our last cardio movement. And then one final hold before we go into some stretching. We've made it this far. Okay. So dowel, we're going to do something simple. We're just going to go out and up to start. And we're going to start nice and light with our 30 seconds. And then we'll change it up. I will say, feel free to freestyle this if you would like. And we'll go from there. Okay. So starting forward and up. Nice and light. Good. Pacing ourselves. We know what we're in for now on these pyramids. 5 more seconds. And we're going forward, just forward now, pushing forward and shoulder blades back. So we're doing 1 minute like this. Good. And breathing halfway. And then we're gonna, you know the drill, add some speed. Nicely done. So for this next minute and a half, I figured was a lot for one movement like this. So we're gonna switch every 30 seconds, but at a fairly high intensity, whatever that means for you. So I'll give you different options as we switch between each 30 seconds in that minute and a half. Okay, so first minute and a half, we're gonna start with our up and over, so our rainbows, and we'll switch after 30 seconds at this intensity to something else. So pacing ourselves, Arms overhead, so it's going to feel quite hard. But adding some good speed here. Five seconds. Good. And then we're going to rotate and press. Rotate and press. Good. And once you get that movement, you can add speed. These are hard intervals, so find something that feels good but is a challenge. Good. I'm ready to breathe. And let's switch to out front and up. So 2 front, 2 up. There we go. Nice. Oh, I'm losing count now. I can't talk and count at the same time. There we go. 2 and 2. Good work. Good, and we're slowing it down. Let's go into some kayaks for 1 minute. So slowing it down a bit, still have that speed. And then we'll go into a nice cool down after. Good, 40 seconds. Pacing ourselves, breathing. Nicely done. The hard stuff's pretty much out of the way now. "15 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowing it down. So here, we're gonna do 30 seconds of just nice and light. Feel free to use whatever movement you want here. And then we're gonna go into a hold. So a hold, I want you to do whatever you want for a hold, whatever your favorite hold was. I'm just gonna go up into both arms up, but feel free to use whatever hold you want. And we're dropping those dowels or maybe holding them. I'm gonna go up into both arms up overhead, but feel free to do whatever you want here. Our last hold. Nice work. And we're gonna rest there. Okay, good work. Okay, I'm gonna give everyone a minute to grab some water, shake out that workout. We're gonna go into some stretching, which is usually my favorite. Okay. So we're gonna get into the neck to start. So we're gonna tuck that chin in. We're gonna tilt our right ear to our right shoulder. And if it feels good, you can take the left arm and bring it behind, or take your right hand and pull your head a little closer. Whatever feels good. And then we're gonna switch sides, tucking that chin in and going to the left. Maybe tucking that right arm behind. Taking some big breaths here. And then we're going to come back to center, tucking that chin in again, bringing nose to right armpit to start. Maybe using that right arm to help pull even closer, relax that left side. And then we're going to switch sides. Left armpit, trying to get that nose there. And then we're going to go into the pecs. If you have a wall that you want to get into a corner and stretch out away from that pec, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can also find a tender point and then open up that chest. So putting pressure into that pec muscle and then opening that chest. Good. Switching sides. Finding a tender point and opening that chest or stretching out against that wall. Good. Nice work. And then we're going to do our triceps. So 2 different ways you can do, well, 3 different ways you can do triceps. First one is you're just going to bring the arm over and behind your head, and then taking the other hand, pulling that elbow towards your head. Other option is you can put both your elbows onto a table or desk in front of you, and then shoot those hips back. That's another option, and really sinking into your arms here. Or grabbing a dowel or a band, and you can place one hand on top, one hand below, and try and pull those bands or dowels apart. So finding what works for you here. Some people are very tight and can only get their arms on a table. Otherwise, this is a great option. And then we're going to switch sides. Good. Sitting up tall. Remembering to breathe. And then we're going to slowly release that. And then we're going to bring arms clasped behind us so you can interlace those fingers or grab your wrist, pull down towards the ground, and lift as high as you can up. Another option is you can place both your hands on a desk or table behind you and lean forward. So that's kind of up to you how you want to stretch out those biceps. Good. And then we're going to release that. We're going to bring left arm across the body. Right hand is pulling on that elbow to help get that arm across. Good. So into the deltoid here. And then we're going to switch sides. And we're going to release and twist over to the right, looking over that right shoulder. Lifting that chest, rolling those shoulder blades back. And we're going to switch sides here. Seeing how far you can look over that shoulder. And you still should be able to breathe here. And then release. We're going to tuck that chin in and roll down through the spine, reaching as far down to the ground as you can. Another great option for this is if you have the ability to get into a child's pose. That would be another great one right now. So find what feels good. And we're going to stay here and breathe, opening up that spine, opening up the ribs. Good. And then we're gonna slowly come up. We're gonna lift that chest, bring those arms back, open up, breathing up. And take a couple breaths here. And take one more big inhale. And exhale, slowly come back to neutral. Okay. How's everyone feeling? I hope everyone feel like they got some cardio in. I'm definitely feeling it. Probably feel it tomorrow. I hope today gave you some more ideas of different cardio options. Next week, we're going to work on some upper body strength and core. So feel free to jump in on that. Otherwise, thank you all and have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat or reach out to us at Ocean Rehab and Fitness. But thank you all for joining me and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Sierra. Janice speaking. Hi, Kaiser.
Hey.
That was fun. Yeah, I sent you the music I was dancing to. You're like,
Perfect.
She's listening to music today. You put it in my brain, and then I'm like, yeah.
Well, I would be listening to music if I could too. So.
It's really hard to listen and have the music at the same time, but it's good for my brain. And then I just have to dance. It's just like that. So can I do weights today too? Or would that be too much? Like,
yeah, you could do weights.
Okay. Because I'm warmed up, right? So
yeah, I would say you would be probably fine. Yeah.
And then I have dance tonight. Anyway, so next Thursday with you, you're gonna do strength training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to do some strength and some core.
Okay, that's great. What you offer is just so awesome. I did strength training on my own last Thursday. I'm like, I can't show up to class. I'll just be too tired.
Good. Pacing yourselves. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. I never would have thought of using my door anchor resistance bands for a rowing machine substitute. That's a great idea. Like to do cardio with the bands. That I just never have thought of that. So I wasn't sure about, like when I do rows, usually I'm doing it this way. And then you said the palms could be down too. And that changes the shoulder position. But they're both valid, right? And I'm just like, I just don't want to hurt my shoulders. I'm just like, oh.
Yep. Pace yourselves. The palms down is like the actual rowing movement, right?
Yeah.
So then another great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I like to tell people that because they don't have to go out and buy a cardio machine if they don't want to. So.
All right. Well, I'll say goodbye. Thanks. Have a great day. Thanks, Disability
Yes.
Foundation.